2024 in wrestling has seen a lot of big debuts, from AEW to TNA to WWE, to Mercedes Moné to Nick Nemeth to Okada, Ricochet, and plenty of more. Some of these names have made an impact, some of these names haven't. Some of these names have become world champions, while others haven't. There are names on this list that you will agree with, and there are names on this list that you will not agree with. And of course, anytime that you're putting together a list, or you're talking about the Mount Rushmores or the greatest of all times, it's all subjective. You have a different opinion from me, and I have a different opinion from you. And more importantly, since we are going in a 10 to number 1 type list, we're all going to disagree, at least on the order. But I fully believe that these names have made a huge impact on each and every promotion in which they have worked for. And it's not just all WWE, and it's not just all AEW. It's a mixture of both, how pro wrestling should be. Number 10, Nick Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. He has risen to the occasion in TNA, showing the fans what he can do, showing the fans who have believed in him for all of these years that he is still that dang good. From promo work to in-ring work to sell ability to over ability, Nick Nemeth has done so. And as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, someone who is feuding with Joe Hendry and who has faced many that have come up against him, trying to take that gold away from him, I actually think Nick Nemeth in TNA has done wonders for his career, as well as the promotion, which has seen a renaissance, seen a resurgence in popularity. A lot due to the fact that they went back to the TNA name, but more importantly because they have a working relationship with WWE, something which I expect to see continue down the road. But Nick Nemeth, as a World Heavyweight Champion, they've done very well for each other. Kazuchika Okada at number 9 in AEW. Yes, I put him on this list. Yes, I know that he has worked in AEW as a New Japan star in previous years. But this was the year where he officially signed. This was the year that he started his AEW run. And look, has it gone well? Sorta. It depends. Sure, he has held gold and still holds the gold. Sure, he has been aligned with the elite. But at the end of the day, I don't think his arrival has been as impactful as Okada, as well as the rest of the fan base had envisioned when he signed on the dotted line. I mean, this is a guy that was a top star for New Japan for absolutely many years, and just a thriving source of success. In fact, WWE had interest in this guy, but he went to AEW. Hopefully, there will be more on the horizon for Okada in a serious role come 2025. Number 8, Ricochet, leaving WWE on his own terms and going to AEW because he wanted to wrestle the best, right? That's AEW's tagline. Look, Ricochet was never going to be a main event type kind of guy in WWE. I don't even think Ricochet will be a main event type guy in AEW. But the fact of the matter is, he may not have the best promos. He may not even have the best character. But you put him in a match against legitimately anyone on that roster outside of maybe Satnam Singh, this guy is going to go. He's going to go and he's going to perform at a very high level, giving you an ROI on your investment and your time, whether you're the booker or the fan base. Ricochet, he's already wrestled Will Ospreay at least 2 times by the time that you hear this. I expect them to wrestle even more. He's not necessarily going to be a game changer for them, but he's a great addition to an already loaded and stacked roster. Number 7, Stephanie Valkyr. Now look, she made a name for herself earlier this year wrestling Mercedes Moné at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view event, catching the attention of one WWE, and therefore putting herself in a great position, a bidding war situation with WWE and AEW. Sure, she was a little bit more familiar with AEW, but in WWE, they have consistently booked her as a top star right out of the get-go, making her a notable name. Now, sure, she still has to learn the English language and try to get better with promos, but she has it. She has a charisma-esque, and she can go in the ring. That's what WWE bought. You can build on her English language speaking abilities, and you can build on her getting even better in the ring. But what they've done with her so far, you can't ask for any better booking than that. Number 6, we're going to stay in NXT. Julia. Now, she is the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship, going to challenge Roxanne Perez on the January 7th episode of NXT television. I expect she to win said championship on that show. If she doesn't, so what? WWE has booked her in a very, very high-profile way. They legitimately introduced her as a top star, has booked her as a top star. This is a woman that they had pursued for over a year. This is a woman in which they waited, 6 months to bring in because she wanted to finish up her commitments in New Japan. Not New Japan Pro Wrestling, I should say Japan. In Marigold. She is someone that will be a game changer for this company. She will follow in the likes of Io Sky and Asuka in terms of success. She will be a bigger profile star for them than like Akari Sane. She's going to be someone to look out for. Number 5, the Hurt Syndicate. So I'm including MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. Look, they have actually been a notable signing for AEW, something in which we cannot say about all of their talent signings, and Lord knows there has been plenty of them. But they have introduced Bobby Lashley as a serious threat, an absolute mercenary. They've put Shelton Benjamin in spots where he can shine brighter than he has in probably 20 years. The ability for MVP to sell you on this group, sell you on the storylines, to sell you on former WWE guys that are bigger and badder than most on the AEW roster has been absolutely sensational. In my opinion, this is the second best AEW signing this year. We'll get to the number 1 in a minute, but outstanding work by AEW in this group. Number 4, Motor City Machine Guns in WWE. I don't know how much better you can get in terms of just being a pure tag team than the Motor City Machine Guns, not only with their in-ring ability, but their charisma and be able to get over the fan base. WWE saw what they had in them. They also knew they had 2 veterans, so you had to kind of get to the point already. And they got to the point right away, winning the tag team titles on SmackDown, just a few short matches into their WWE tenure. Now, sure, they're not the current champions right now. They're in a feud with DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano. But for someone that has followed them for over a decade in TNA, you cannot ask for any better booking, especially as a tag team, right? We're not even talking about singles guys. We're talking about a tag team. Outstanding work by WWE with these two. Number 3, the New Bloodline, the Tongas and Jacob Fatu. Now, look, the Tongas, they haven't done much in WWE outside of just being attached to the New Bloodline. But the ability of putting them together with Jacob Fatu, who has been a standout for WWE and someone that I will see as a main eventer for years to come, being aligned with Solo Sikoa and continuing the storyline with the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Usos, Sami Zayn, it's been good. So we will see what they can do in 2025. I know one of the Tongas is out with a torn pec, I believe, so he'll be out of action for a little bit. But in 2024, being brought into the top storyline in the company, pretty good. Number 2, Jade Cargill, our biggest and most high-profile wrestling debut under the WWE banner. From making her Royal Rumble debut, being paired with Bianca Belair, winning the tag team titles twice with Bianca Belair, consistently being used, and more importantly, being protected. You could not have asked for a better situation if you were Jade Cargill jumping from AEW to WWE. The company is taking care of her well, both financially, booking, and more importantly, they've taught her even more about pro wrestling, sending her down to the training center at the Performance Center for months heading into 2024. At number 1, it is Mercedes Mone, because she has dramatically helped AEW's women's division. Don't look at her booking necessarily as like the culprit behind why she's number 1. You need to look at the bigger picture. When they signed Mercedes Mone, one of their biggest free agent signings of this year, in a recent memory as well, one of the more high-profile, big-money type contracts, they also signed a lot of talent to come in as well. And more importantly, they started to elevate the women's division in something which they had not done in recent memory. That is why I have Mercedes Mone at number 1, in addition to her feud with Britt Baker and all of the feuds in which she's had on AEW television and as a promo on